Hello everybody! Welcome to another Valheim tutorial. Today we're going to be learning about Valheim field editing, or using the mod World Edit Commands. World Edit Commands is an incredibly useful development mod for Valheim. In this video, I'll show you some basic usage of World Edit Commands, because it's fundamentally useful regardless of the kind of modding that you do. As an example, here's a boar. And, you know, boar kind of die a lot, right? This guy's a tame boar, he's a friendly boar. So let's say I want to give this boar more health. Well, first we have to figure out what format the data is in that handles health, right? And you could do it the long way, or you could just use World Edit Commands. Go up to your boar friend and make sure that the cursor goes over him. And you're going to type a command called data dump equals boar. Okay, that's it. Boom. Because you see, now that we have ran that command, we've actually saved the boar's fields to a text file, or so to speak, to a YAML file that we can look at on our local client. So you're going to browse into your Valheim installation and then bepnx config data. And you'll now find this data YAML file. Note that if you use R2 to install it, it doesn't matter. It's always going to be in this same place, not in the R2 profile data. Open it up, and then yours won't have anything on it yet except for the boar's data. And just to show you what's going on here, we did a data dump. And we can see here the name of the data dump is right here, boar. Now, there's actually 3 commands I'm going to teach you about in this video. We're going to learn about data dumping, data saving, and data loading. All right? This is a data dump. It gives you most of the fields. Now, we're going to look through the data dump of the boar, and I'm going to summarize what's going on. The first thing to understand is that each data entry has different types of data. It could be an integer, a float, or a string. I'm not going to define everything for you because it's standard across most coding and programming, etc. So it's all the same. We can see that first we have a list of all of the ints. These are things that can be expressed as like 0, 1, 2, 3, anything that's not like 0.2 or something like that, right? And this handles what the boar can do. And there's a lot of it, right? And that's just the ints. Now look down, and we have the floats, right? These are things that have like bigger numbers, more complicated numbers, decimal points, etc. So there's loads of those as well. I mean, this is just for a boar. And then here we have strings, right? This is like the names and stuff. We have longs, vectors, and quaternions. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff there, and don't worry. It's a pretty simple boar guy, you know? You don't need to worry about all that data. And believe it or not, those fields aren't even all of the boar's data. It's most of the boar's data. And this is where dumping has its problems. A data dump will give you loads of stuff, and you almost always only need a little bit of it. So alternatively, you can use a data save. So now let's do the same process, but instead we're going to go data save equals boar, and to distinguish it, we'll go save. But now, look, I have to move the cursor because the boar moved out of the way, as they tend to. There we go. Our boar is saved. And now, if we refresh our file, we'll see that the new data shows up here. Now, notice the difference. This save command fits on one screen, whereas this dump, I mean, this is like 7 or 6 screens. 1, maybe 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's 5 screens, whereas this one is just 1. And that's the difference between data dumps and data saves. Data save will kind of just give you some of the stuff. And what's interesting about it is sometimes it's not even what you're trying to get. So you might customize something and then do a data save and think that the value's not there, but that's because you did a save and you need to do the dump to actually see most of it. But for most people's uses, just using the save will be fine. This is going to give you the main things that matter. At this point, okay, now we can read the data, we can look at it, but that's not the fun part, is it? I mean, it's cool to understand why something's happening, but it's even cooler to make something new happen, right? So why don't we turn this boar into, I don't know, something else? Well, first off, let me show you how to change the data in a very basic form. I'm actually going to go down the data dump of the boar, and I'm just going to select a couple things that I have a feeling you're going to care about. We'll have tamed, the level, the health, and then the name of the boar. All right? So anytime you do this, you need to make sure you save your local data file. And then in the game, you're going to go up to the game object you're trying to adjust, open the console, and type data load instead of save or dump. And in this case, we're just going to do data load equals boar. And then look at that. It now transformed into a 2-star boar named Bobby. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And that's done with all of these fields here. Now, you can adjust the health this way, but keep in mind, whatever you do to the health will then also get multiplied by the level, okay? Welcome to the world, Bobby. Welcome to the world. Honestly, scripting is incredible. And using world edit commands is how you can see what you can adjust. There are so many things to mess with and adjust and try that it becomes its own game in itself. You just saw the loads of fields. That was just for a boar. That's just one boar in a big, big world full of game objects with loads of different fields just waiting to be discovered and adjusted. You can even cause craziness to happen by setting them to negative values or higher values than they're supposed to be. And sometimes that craziness can become a fascinating, fun, enjoyable mechanic for you, your friends, or the other people on the server. So I hope that you enjoy this tutorial on world edit commands. It's an absolutely fantastic development resource that's a fundamental part of your journey if you're interested in expand world prefab scripting. This is really the tool of the trade, so to speak. Without this, it's hard for you to see what you can edit. Now, if you're interested in learning about this, then just wait until my next video, because in the next video, how to use Valheim to practice game design, we're going to learn how you can use the data from these tools and these simple scripts that anybody can write without being a programmer in order to make new Valheim experiences or adjust the mechanics as you see fit. So just keep in touch if you want to see that video. That'll be coming out in a couple days. And if you want to support my work, then consider renting your own dedicated Valheim server using my link, JP Valheim, at Zap Hosting. Renting your own dedicated server with BepInEx and getting started with Expand World Prefabs is an incredibly enjoyable experience. I won't go on too much into the details, but for me personally, it easily added another couple thousand hours to the Valheim experience. It allowed me to create a world that I can adjust and influence, that other people can experience and play on, and I've just been obsessed with it ever since I got into it. It's been an incredible experience, and I think that more people will see it this way once they are opened up to it. Well, what do you think? Isn't this kind of stuff crazy? You want to learn more about it? Well, honestly, there's one place to be in particular that's going to really teach you, and it's Valheim World Editing, Yair's Discord. You can check it out by the link in the description of this video to the Valheim World Editing Discord, or you can get the link to join in any of Yair's mods, such as Infinity Hammer, Expand World Prefabs, or this one, World Edit Commands. So if you want to learn more about that, I have more tutorials that you can check out. Alternatively, you could support me on Patreon if you really want, or you could just like this video or share it with other people, because the more we like Valheim content in general, the more love you give Valheim, the more YouTube recommends this kind of content to others.